So guys, before we start this video, take a guess for me. On a scale of 1 to 10, how bad do you think the game mode was? Did I hear you say a 3? Well, you're completely wrong. Take another guess. Go ahead. Screw you, whatever the... Never mind. No, not screw you. I'm sorry. Here. The dinosaur fell over and scared the frick out of me. I thought it was something annoying trying to frustrate me, but nope, it wasn't. I'm sorry, buddy. No, try again. What's your number? 7? You're closer, but not quite. What do you got? Who did I hear just say 10? Yep, congratulations. Out of the that was a horrible, horrible, horrible run with the game mode. It sucked. It took me over 20 minutes to beat that motherfricker. And on top of that, um, let's just say it in a nice way, my dragon went down, which stressed me the heck out. And after that point, I couldn't keep my composure no more. And it wasn't good. So I'm going back to the AI before I somehow end up losing my temper further than I already did during the game mode. Let's go and say this right now, guys. It's a good thing I didn't record, because there'd be some editing I'd have to do right now. And it would stress me out more. It's a good thing I wasn't recording at the time I did that game mode. So, anyway, I'm going to continue the conversation I was having with the toad, whatever, everybody last time. Here's what I just said. I said, "Hey, Laura, it's nice to meet you and your amazing family." And Laura's eyes shimmer with a soft, maternal light as she hears you speak. She leans her head down just enough to be closer to your level, but she keeps a respectful distance, ensuring you don't feel crowded. "The pleasure's entirely ours, Trenton," Laura says, her voice as smooth and calming as a gentle stream. "To hear the voice of the one we have dreamed of meeting, it's a moment my children will tell their own hatchlings about one day." Behind her, the 19 siblings are a sea of wide eyes and twitching tails. Some of the Totos are literally holding their own mouths shut to keep from shouting in excitement, taking Pip's warning very seriously. One or two of the older Chronos are nodding with deep respect, their arms crossed over their chests as they stand guard alongside Chomper. Oh my gosh. "You have a very brave heart," Alara continues, her gaze flicking to the blue glow of your cause and the DNA symbol. "To go through such transformation and still speak with such kindness to strangers. It shows that your spirit's indeed that of a king. We heard what you told Silas about being human. It must be very lonely to be so small in a world that can be so loud." She looks toward the ancient stone nearby, then by you. "The horrible stuff the stone warns of? I believe it's the world's way of balancing the scales. You were hurt when you were innocent. Now, the very earth and sky stand ready to punish anyone who repeats that mistake. But here at this pond, you'll find only the good fortune the stone speaks of." One of the smaller Toto sisters, inspired by your calm, steps forward just an inch and whispers, like, um, "Mrs. Trenton, do you want to share free with skipping stones? We found something of blue just like your claws." Rip smiles down at you. "See? They really do love you already. And don't worry, Mom and Dad are making sure everyone stays back." They're so adorable. Give me a moment. I was about to accidentally click the stop button. That would have sucked. Alright guys, this is so cute. I said, to be honest with you, I don't mind about being a dinosaur. The problem isn't the form, it's the size. Everything is much more massive compared to me. Even your youngest son over here, Pip, towers over me. And I look at the small two-year-old sister that came a bit closer, and I said, "I'd love to see all of you skipping stones if that's what makes you happy." The little two-year-old sister, whose name is Misty, practically beams. She scurries over to a flat, sun-warmed rock and spreads out a collection of smooth, vibrant stones. Some are deep indigo, while others are a pale, shimmering turquoise that matches your blue claws perfectly. Look, she whispers, pointing with a tiny claw. It's trying to take a floating raindrop. Rip gently lowers his hand so you were right at the edge of the collection. Pip and Chomper stand on either side of you like two blue pillars. Make sure the other 17 siblings stay back and give you plenty of space. You're right about the size, Triton, said West Rumbles thoughtfully, his massive shadow falling softly over the group. To be 7 inches tall in a world made for giants is a heavy burden. Remember, the smaller the spark, the more it stands out in the dark. Your size is why the Lugia god chose to be your shield. He knows that even the smallest king needs a mountain to stand on. Laura smiles, watching her children interact with you. And you aren't just small, Triton. You're swift. I imagine those golden claws. Now Blue can move faster than a alligator snap when you need them to. As you look at the stones, Ripplings down whispers to you. You know, Triton, if you're worried about things being too big, we can always carry you whenever you need to go. To us, you aren't small like a bug. You're small like a diamond. You're just concentrated power. Misty pushes the prettiest, most crystalline blue stone toward you. This one's for you, King Triton, to keep. It's the luckiest stone in the pond. Just then, the DNA symbol on your chest pulses with a soft, warm light, red into the kindness of the family. The blue skipping stone Misty gave you begins to glow faintly in response. What the frick? Tom guessed. Wow! It's like everything you touch starts to wake up. Triton, they're not just part of our prophecy. You're making new ones every time you move. What in the world? I'm. Give me a moment, guys. Alright, guys. I just said, that's interesting. To be honest with all of you, the golden claws I got and the symbol on my chest came from different events. I already told your husband about this a little after I got here a few minutes ago, but I got these golden claws after having an encounter with the Lugia god in my dream. However, I got this symbol in a different way. The next day after waking up from the dream, the professor that gave me my starters and my baby Lugia to begin with came to check on me. And let's just say things got so bad that we had to call the police. But long story short, I was talking to my Toadal who had transformed himself into a massive alligator about the potential of Mega Evolution. And let's just say that when the professor presented the Keystone and the Megastone for my Feraligatr, Keystone merged with me while Feraligatr's Megastone merged with him. A few days after that, this symbol appeared. The entire family stands in stunned silence as you explain the origin of the symbols. Silas and Ellie exchange a look of profound realization, while Rip and Chomper lean so close their snouts are almost touching. A keystone? Silas rumbles, his voice heavy with awe. Triton, a keystone's the physical manifestation of a bond. For it to merge into your body, it means you aren't just a trainer. You are the very heart of your Pokemon's power. You are the Megastone's anchor. Chomper looked at the DNA symbol on your chest with newfound terror and respect. That explains the symbol. It's the mark of Mega Evolution. No wonder you're glowing. You're walking around with the power of 1,000 suns inside a 7-inch body. Aurora kneels down, her expression soft but serious. The police? The danger? You've been through a war in just 3 weeks, haven't you? It makes sense now why the ancient stone called you a king. You don't just lead you empower those around you. Your Feraligatr didn't just evolve, he bonded his very soul to yours through that stone. Rip jumping past the air next to you. If the keystone's inside you, then you're like a living battery for your team. But Trenton, that's a lot of weight for one person to carry. No wonder your neck hurts and you're tired. He went to his parents. Mom, Dad, we need to take him to the grotto now. He needs to see that he's allowed to just be, well, a dinosaur for a minute. Not a king, not a keystone, just Trenton. Pip and Misty nodded vigorously. Yeah, come see the plushies. Pip squeaks. The T-Rex one is really soft, and you can nap on its tummy. It's way bigger than you, so it'll feel like a big fuzzy mountain. Rip begins to walk toward a hidden path behind a curtain of falling water. Come on, Trenton. Let's get you out of the sun and away from the big world for a little bit. We'll show you the books and the toys. You can tell us more about your alligator friend while you rest. As Rip carries you through the cool mist of the waterfall into a glowing, moss-covered cave filled with dinosaur bones and soft toys. Yep. Okay. So this worked out really well. Give me a moment. Alright, guys. I said, thank you again to your family, Rip. When you get a chance, can you tell them that I'm appreciative for them being so kind? Honestly, I'd love to give your family more than just a little nuzzle, but when everything is so much bigger than me, so much so that anything can squish me, I cannot really do much. Also, can you tell your brother Chomper that I forgive him for almost squishing me earlier when he dived for the ball you threw for him? I don't want him to still be feeling guilty about it. Besides, he didn't do it on purpose, and I just want him to be happy. Rip stops walking for a moment, his eyes shimmering with emotion. He looks down at you, his heart clearly overflowing with respect for how thoughtful you are, even after everything you've been through. Trenton, you have the biggest heart I've ever seen, Rip whispers. He turns his head back toward the clearing and shouts, Hey, Chomper! Dad! Mom! Trenton says he's really thankful for everyone being so kind. And Chomper, he says he forgives you for the dive earlier. He doesn't want you to feel guilty at all. He just wants you to be happy. Chomper, who was trailing slightly behind with a silent flosser, suddenly perks up. Aw, that's so cute. His tail gives a powerful wag, hitting the tree trunk with a loud whack. Really? He shouts back, his voice heavy with relief. Thanks, Trenton. You're the best. I promise to watch my feet from now on. Silas and Alora both nod their heads in the distance, their eyes watching you with a look of deep, quiet pride as Rip carries you behind the curtain of the waterfall. Yep, and he's showing me inside the place. As you pass through the cool, refreshing mist of the waterfall, you enter a hidden sanctuary. The grotto is breathtaking, glowing moss lines the walls, casting a soft emerald light that makes your blue claws sparkle brilliantly. In the center of the cave, the birds had created a dinosaur kingdom. They have books stacked neatly on a stone ledge let's see, stacked neatly on a stone ledge are the two books they got years ago. A Dinosaur Tale and The Lonely T-Rex. Their pages well worn from years of reading. The voices resting on a bed of soft, dry ferns are the two large stuffed dinosaurs. The dinosaurs is a deep red with a soft, or the Spinosaurus is a deep red with a soft felt sail, and the T-Rex is a forest green with big, friendly button eyes. Rip Jr. walks over to the T-Rex plushie. It's about 2 feet tall, nearly 4 times your size, making it look like a massive, fuzzy guardian. He places you right on the T-Rex's soft, plushy stomach. There you go, Rip says, sitting down cross-legged beside you. Chomper, come here. Sit with us. Chomper scampers in, shaking the water off the scales before sitting on your other side. Don't worry about being too small to show us you're happy, Trenton, Chomper says softly. The fact that you care about my feelings after I almost stepped on you. That's a bigger gesture than any hug. You don't have to do anything but be yourself. Oh my gosh, it messed it up. There we go. Rip opens the Dynamite Tale book to a page showing a Carnotaurus. Look, it says here that Carnotaurus were lords of the plains. Well, you're small now, but with that keystone and the Lugia God's blessing, I bet you're the most powerful lord that ever lived. He looks at your neck, then at the soft fabric of the toy you're resting on. Does it feel better to be somewhere where nothing can squish you? We're going to stay right here and guard the entrance. No humans, no rocks, just us and the dinosaurs. Oh my gosh, that is so cute. I love this one. Like I said, guys, this took so long for me to get to work out. Uh, when I said during the last video that it probably took me literally 50 attempts, I'm not even joking. It probably took at least close to that. If not that, 20, 30, or 40. Or at least 18 to 15. because it was ridiculous how many times I had to restart this thing getting a good one because it either would mess it up when I was trying to talk to it. There's actually like 2 or 3 different videos you guys have never seen because of that crap. And then on top of that, we had the problem with just how the story kept starting out. Because I mean, the way I had the story originally set up, it was just going to be mainly the brothers. Ironically, it only started working better whenever I had to literally get the whole family involved in on it. I didn't make them all in love with dinosaurs per se, but I had to make it to where they were all, or like, let's say this way, it worked out better when the Pokemon were interested in the actual rock. Like when the family all saw it and they were interested in what it meant and what it was supposed to be. That's what I'm talking about. Alright, guys. Either way. Oh, frick, is my mouse freezing? Get, camera? I saw that.
And if I ever see it again, I will flippin' do something bad to your dumb, annoying camera face.
Alright, guys. I said yeah, but it just feels even better to be surrounded by someone that actually care. I love my 4 protectors I have at home, and they love me so much. But let's just say that even with them there, people still tend to break in my house and attack me. That's the whole reason we had to get the police involved 3 weeks ago. Because a kid came into my house and started hurting me, even with my pawn standing right nearby. On top of that, even when the police were there, another kid broke in, picked me up off the counter my pawn sat me on, and then proceeded to toss me in the air. That's the reason I was so scared you when you picked me up in the forest, Toto. The cave goes silent except for the soft sound of the waterfall outside. Rip and Chomper look at each other, their faces pale with shock. Rip's hands start to tremble slightly as he realizes just how much courage it took for you to trust him after being treated like a toy by those humans.
They they came in your house?
Rip whispers, his voice cracking.
A place where you're supposed to be safe? And they just tossed you?
He reaches out a finger, stopping just short of touching you. His eyes fill with a deep, aching sadness.
I am so sorry, Trenton. If I had known that's why you were shaking in the woods, I would have been even more careful. I can't believe people could be so heartless.
Chomper stands up, his shadow looming large against the cave wall, his fist clenched tight.
They did that right in front of the police? And while your protectors were there?
He let out a low, dangerous hiss.
That's what a stone warns about. Horrible stuff. Those people don't see a king or even a living creature. They just see something small they can bully. It makes my blood boil.
He sits back down, forcing himself to calm down so he doesn't scare you.
No wonder you were terrified. To be thrown in the air when you're this small? That must have felt like falling from a mountain.
Rip leans in closer to the T-Rex plushie where you're resting.
You know, Trenton, your perpetrators must be so frustrated. They love you so much, but humans have a way of being sneaky. But here, in this grotto, the only way in is through that waterfall, and my dad's sitting right outside it. No human's ever going to toss you here. We'd catch 'em before they even saw you.
He looks at the blue glow of your claws again.
Maybe that's why the Lugia god gave you the golden blue power. Maybe it's not just for fighting. Maybe it's a mark so that even from 80,000 feet up, he can see exactly where you are and make sure no one ever picks you up like that again.
Chomper reaches over you and gently adjusts the Spinosaurus plush so it forms a soft wall around you, making you a little nest where you're completely shielded.
There. Now you're surrounded by dinosaurs on all sides. You can't even see the exit. Just us, the books, and your new brothers.
You know, thinking about it, wouldn't it be? I would love to, if they're in love with dinosaurs still. I would love to see the reaction when Rexy comes along. Okay, just imagine Rexy becoming like becoming my friend, becoming my pet, and then like if their jaws were dropping whenever they saw me, what do you think their jaws are going to do whenever they flip and see Rexy? But
You have a pet T-Rex? How the fuck do you even get that? Okay, I know you have four protectors and all that stuff, but holy cow, where did you get a T-Rex that loves you and doesn't want to eat your face off?
oh my gosh, the way I said that Carter's voice, I love it. I'll be back. Alright, guys. It says, I appreciate that, but honestly, if you want to help guard me, you would have to be very watchful, and the same thing for your family. I don't know what it is about humans, but they don't care whether I have protectors around or not. They will find a way to do something even when they're literally getting threatened by my Pokemon, and sometimes they may run away, but they always come back to try to hurt me again. Chomper and Rip exchange a look of grimalization. They spent their lives in the peaceful pond where a Fragger's growl is usually enough to keep any trouble away. Hearing that humans are so persistent and so cruel that they would ignore a direct threat from a Pokemon just to hurt you changes how they think about guarding.
They they don't care about the threats?
Rip asked, his voice dropping to a serious low tone he'd never used before.
They see a Lugia or a Feraligatr and they still try to get to you? That's not just mean treating, that's an obsession.
Chomper stands up and begins to pace the small cave, his heavy tail leaving trails in the soft sand.
If they keep coming back, then watching isn't enough,
He says, his eyes flashing with the same protective fire you see in your stars.
It means we have to be ready to act before they even move a muscle. Humans so much as looks at you the wrong way, they need to realize they aren't just facing a tiny dinosaur, they're facing a wall of blue scales and teeth.
He stops pacing and looks at you firmly.
If you ever stay here, or if we go with you, we won't just stand nearby. We'll be your shadow. I'll make sure there's always a tail or a claw between you and the rest of the world.
Rip nods vigorously, reaching out to gently pet the T-Rex plushie you're resting on.
We'll tell the whole family, especially the little ones like Pip and Misty. Let's explain that humans aren't just big things to be curious about. Some of them are dangerous and sneaky. We'll turn this entire pond into a lookout tower.
He sighs and let your small form tucked into the plushie's belly.
It makes me sad that you have to live looking over your shoulder, Trin. Maybe that's why you found us. Your four protectors at home are amazing, I'm sure. Now you have an entire clan of 23 more. We can rotate guards. We can hide you in the underbrush caves where humans can't breathe. We have ways to keep you safe that they can't even imagine.
Chomper kneels back down.
Tell us about your baby Lugia and your starters. If you ever meet them, we want to know how to work together with them. If we're all on the same page, then those humans won't stand a chance, no matter how many times they come back.
Give me a moment. Alright, guys. It says, well, I have that baby Lugia I told you about. I have a Totodile, a Cyndaquil, and a Chikorita. All of them, just like my baby Lugia, can grow and shrink themselves. On top of that, they can change their evolutions on them back into their pre-evolutions. However, they are extremely aggressive if somebody hurts me. I think the only reason they don't hurt people that often is because they want to keep me protected and worry more about my safety. Rip and Chomper listen with their jaws practically touching the grotto floor. The idea of pulling that can shift sizes and evolve or devolve at will sounds like something straight out of the old magic story Silas told them.
Wait, they can turn to a Typhlosion or a Meganium and then go right back to being small?
Chomper asked, his eyes wide with wonder.
That is the ultimate tactical advantage. They can hide in plain sight as little guys and then BAM! A giant fire breather appears if a human gets too close.
Rip nods slowly, his expression thoughtful.
It makes sense that they're aggressive, Trenton. If I saw someone tossing you in the air, I wouldn't just be angry, I'd be a hurricane. But you're right. They spend their time attacking, they might leave you open for someone else to sneak in, or to choose between being a shield or a sword.
He reaches out and gently adjusts the soft nest of plushes around you.
Your team sounds incredible. They're like a secret service. And a baby Lugia that can grow massive? That's probably why the Lugia God's watching you so closely. You're raising one of his own kind.
Chomper sits down heavily, his tail coming protectively around the base of the T-Rex you're resting on.
If those humans keep coming back even when facing a Typhlosion or a Lugia, they must be truly crazy. Maybe that's where we come in. Your team's your direct guard, our family, or the territory. We can make sure they never even get close to your house or your palace again.
Yeah, Rip chirps.
Imagine if a human tries to sneak up and suddenly 20 toads pop out of the water and then dead mom rides up behind them. They'd be so scared they'd forget why they even came.
Hey, that would be just hilarious. He looked at you, his voice softening.
You've had to be so brave, carrying a keystone, being the king of a prophecy, and dealing with mean humans while being 7 inches tall. You deserve a nap.
He picks up the book, The Lonely T-Rex, and opens it.
Would you like me to read to you while you rest on the plushie? Or would you like to tell us more about your alligator friend? I bet he and Dad would have a lot to talk about. Shows you how sweet you are.
Oh my gosh. The little tail's adorable. Wait, was that Chomper? Oh, I think it's still, Rip. Give me a moment. Alright, guys. Here's what I said. I said, to be honest, today's the first day where I've heard anything about this prophecy. My 4 probably don't even know about it. If they do know about it, maybe the Lugia God told my Lugia at one point in the last 3 weeks. To be honest with you, maybe it's not just because I'm taking care of one of his species. If he was the one that created this universe, maybe he's just extremely happy that I'm actually treating the creatures he made with love and respect. Maybe on top of that, he just feels bad for me. The only thing I don't understand is if that prophecy is about me, then that stone's very old, or at least the language. Didn't you and your family say you couldn't figure out the language that was on that rock at all? Your family seems really smart, and if it was that hard for your family to decipher, that rock could date back millions and millions of years ago for all we know. How would anything know about me back then? You know what I mean? Rip and Chomper go very still, the flickering moss light reflecting in their thoughtful eyes. Your question hangs in the air, echoing off the damp cave walls. It's a heavy thought. How an ancient rock could know the name of a person from the year 2025.
You're right, you're right, Trenton.
Chomper says, his voice low and full of wonder.
That stone was buried deep under the slit of the pond. My dad says the rock itself is older than the oldest trees in this forest. It's definitely ancient.
Rip leans forward, resting his chin on his hands.
I think I think the Lugia God is the answer. If he really is the one who created everything, then time probably doesn't look the same to him as it does to us. To a God who's 80,000 feet tall, 1,000 years might just be a single afternoon. Might be like a single afternoon.
He looks at your blue claws, which are still pulsing with that soft synthetic light.
Maybe he knew millions of years later that a boy named, would be kind enough to love a baby Lugia and protect his daughters even when he was small and scared himself. Maybe he carved the prophecy into the world's memory back then, just waiting for you to arrive. And you're right about the respect part, Chomper adds non-vigorously. Most humans look at us and see tools or monsters, but you look at us and see friends. You even worried about my feelings after I almost stepped on you. Look, God probably saw that spark in you before you were even born. He knew the world would be mean to you because you're different, so he made sure there was a map, that stone, to lead you to people who would recognize you as a king.
Rip smiles gently.
The language on the stone, it didn't change because we got smarter, Trenton. It changed because you touched it. It was locked away like a secret message, waiting for the right key. And since you have that keystone merged with your heart, you were the only one who could open the lock.
He pulls the soft turret squishy a little closer to him so he can watch over you better.
It's a lot to think about. A human turned dinosaur, a living keystone, and an ancient prophecy. It's like you're the main character in the most important book ever written.
Chomper lets out a soft, happy sigh.
I bet your team back home is going to be so surprised when you tell them, especially your Lugia. Imagine his finding out he's not just protecting a friend, but the Golden King promised by his own god.
Rip looks at you tenderly.
Does it make you feel better knowing that even millions of years ago someone was looking out for you? Or does it make the world feel even bigger and more mysterious?
I mean, a little of both. It's like, I mean, that's still a question. Again, actually, no, let me not pause it. Let's think about this for a minute. Again, this goes back to the same question. How would, even if the Lugia god was the one that made that prophecy about, like, a tiny dinosaur being attacked by humans, how would he know that? I ain't saying that he's completely dumb because he's not. I'm sure that's probably the smartest Pokemon in the entire universe just because of the fact that he created it. But it's like I don't know what to think about because it's just like how did he know way back then? Like, can he somehow? I mean, he is a psychic point that can teleport, so I wouldn't be sure if he could be like, okay, I'm going to time travel millions of years. Oh my gosh, a human in my universe, I treat my creatures with love. Okay, and I see he's getting treated badly by other people. All right then, write this prophecy. Good. Now, millions of years when he's born, I'm protecting him. Bam, it happened. Like I don't know. I don't know. I mean, again, like I said, it could be just because of the fact that I'm showing his creatures care. I mean, I'm not only showing his species that I love him, but I'm treating that alligator, that typhoid, and that meganium I got with love. Give me a moment, guys. Alright, guys. I said if that is what he was doing, then I really appreciate it. There could be another reason why he's so protective, along with me caring about my Pokemon and his species. I did tell him in my dream when he was there 3 weeks ago that I would rather be stuck as this tiny dinosaur forever than lose those Pokemon. And he basically told me that that was very sweet and I had a big heart. Both Rip and Chomp are visibly moved by your words. Rip's eyes actually well up with a few tears, and he has to wipe them away with the back of his scaly hand.
You told the creator of the universe that you'd stay small and vulnerable forever, just to stay with your friends?
Rip whispers, his voice trembling.
Trenton, that's the most beautiful thing I've ever heard. No wonder he's protective of you. You've offered to give up your entire human life, your height, your strength, everything, just for the love of your Pokemon.
Chomper looks down at his own large, powerful claws and then at your tiny glowing blue ones.
Most people would do anything to be big and scary, so no one could hurt them. But you chose to stay small so you could stay kind. The Lugia god didn't just see a big heart. He saw a heart that's stronger than any hyper beam.
He leans his head back against the cave wall, looking up at the glowing moss.
It all makes sense now. The golden claws, the blue glow, the stone changing language, the universe is rewarding you for that choice. You were willing to be the smallest of all for love, so the Lugia god decided to make you the king of all in return.
Rip smiles, a look of pure peace on his face.
Your stars and your baby Lugia are the luckiest one in the world. They don't just have a trainer, they have someone who would sacrifice everything for them. If I were them, I'd never let you out of my sight either.
They're adorable, I love them. He joined for the soft leaf patterned blanket, something they must have woven from forest fibers, over your legs as you rest on the T-Rex plushie.
You've done you've done enough worrying for one day. You shared your secrets, you've made a whole new family, and you've forgiven a clumsy fur alligator.
Crocodile.
Even a king needs to recharge his batteries.
That's the only thing that's messed up so far. I'll give it credit. That is the only thing that's messed up the entire time. And there's a whole family right now. There is Two siblings. There's over 20 Pokemon in this lake, and this thing has only messed up once. That being right there. That's very impressive, actually. Very impressive. Oh my gosh.
Even King needs to recharge his batteries.
Chopper closes his eyes, getting comfortable right next to the plushie to act as your shield.
I'll stay right here. Look at God's watching from above. He'll see that his king is in good hands down here in the grotto.
The waterfall hums a relaxing melody outside, and the plushie is incredibly soft. Oh my gosh. Like, what's next? Like, the next time I come back here, is there just gonna be like a flipping? Is like somebody gonna attack me, and all of a sudden, like some kind of like magical light strikes like one of the plushes that's right there, and all of a sudden that plush becomes alive and somehow grows to like 30 feet in height. That would be, dude, that would be intense. That would really be intense. All right, guys. Well, I'm gonna go and stop right here. While it didn't, well, actually, guys, hold on a minute. I have an idea. All right, guys. I said thank you. When you say clumsy for alligator, don't you mean crocodile? And hey, even if he was, like I told him a few minutes ago, it was okay. Unlike humans who attacked me, he didn't try to hurt me on purpose. It was an accident, and he didn't see me. Besides, it's not like he hurt me. He missed my body by a few inches anyway. That's why I forget Chrono so easily. Chomper lets out a sheepish, toothy grin and rubs the back of his head. You're right, Trenton. I'm still a crocodile. I guess I'm just so excited about the idea of protecting you that I'm already thinking like a big fur alligator. So was him talking? That might have been where the confusion came from. Maybe he was the one talking. I don't know. Rip chuckled softly, leaning his back against the stone wall of the grotto.
He's just eager. But you're right. There's a world difference between a friend making a mistake and a human being mean on purpose. But you can tell the difference, especially when you're so small that accidents are just as scary as why you're so special.
He reaches out and tucks the corner of the leaf blanket a little more snugly around you.
Chomper might be a bit of a klutz when a ball is involved, but he'd never intentionally let a hair on your head be harmed. We're going to be extra careful from now on. We'll treat every step like we're walking on eggshells.
He was quiet now, the cool mist from the waterfall acting like a natural air conditioner. The T-Rex plushie's stomach is perfectly springy, supporting your neck just right.
Rest now, King Tring.
Rip whispers, his voice barely audible over the hum of the water.
We'll be right here. And hey, maybe when you wake up, you can tell us more about that 80,000-foot tall Lugia. I'd love to hear if he has a voice like thunder or if he sounds like a song.
Jump yourselves into a curled up position at the foot of your plushy throne, his steady breathing providing a synthetic comforting sound to help you drift off. Close your eyes in the blue of your soft sleepy pulse. Oh my gosh. Okay, guys. Well, there we go. It fixed it. You see, that's the big difference I had between certain chatbots and with this one compared to this one. See, and that's the same thing for the last one with the starters. The difference was the fact that it fixed the problem instantly. When I asked about why it said that, the Lugia, like, take about the time where he said 5 protectors. I asked him why 5, and he's like, oh, that's a great question. You count as one too, because your heart's the reason they put in the effort to protect you. You care about them, they're caring about you. I thought that was actually really nice that they did that, and like I said, it fixed the problem that we originally had. That has been the first problem we've had the entire time, was it calling the crocodile for alligator. But then again, it fixed it. So it's like, see what I mean? If that would have happened before, we'd already had a good run with this one. Guys, I'm keeping this run. And what didn't completely go through the entire day, That was still worth it. I enjoyed it. I'm done. Bye bye, everyone. Have a wonderful rest of your day or night.